Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. In this video we'll be doing the GWS team preview for 2024, and I can safely tell you right now that I will not be rooting next year for 2025 fantasy season. I will not be recording basically all of them on the same day. I should have pre-planned this a lot better, but anyway, got to do it just so that I can get this out to you guys and have regular content. As I said, living up to the promise of one a day. So we've got to get these out to you and at least make them of decent quality. So there's that. But GWS are an interesting one just because the problem with them lies with that round zero and the fact that you really want Green. Everyone wants Green at this point. I mean, he's 22% owned, even though he's got that round 3 bye. So it's really interesting to see how we play it. I'm not going to select him because I don't want those primos on the early buys, but I reckon that is almost like it's almost a fear of missing out on the points there, rather than Green could be a keeper and almost get away from me early. So there is that issue there. But I reckon that if we can load up on the sort of underpriced non-buy primos from the other sides, and then you can get those rookies that have the really good cash gen early, you could look at getting Green very early, as he does have a fairly decent schedule here. After the bye, he's going to be good against pretty much everyone, but after the bye, he's got Hawthorn, Port, Sydney, Adelaide, Carlton, Richmond, Suns. He's got a really good end to the season, actually, looking at it, with Suns, Demons, Hawks, Brizzy, Freo and Western Bulldogs. But anyway, there's that. We'll get into that later on into the video. But before we do, remember to like and subscribe, turn the notification bell on so you know when I upload, and let's get into this preview for 2024. So as you can see here, I have the GWS Giants up, and I've forgotten to actually change it over like half of the players for the point of this video, and they're still stuck on the Connor McDonald from Hawthorn, so I will change them over actively when we get to them. But Tom Green has the softest draw in the comp. The only problem, as I was saying, is that early buy in round 3 following the North. Well, it is, they do have the round 0 game against Collingwood, but then they've got North and also the Eagles. So the weird thing is, if Tom Green goes like 130 against the Collingwood, you may just have to go for him just because he may just be almost ungettable at that point. So there is that. But if he does go like a 60 against Collingwood, and then has North and Eagles, he might still be 998k or something like that heading into his bye. And then he's got this schedule, which is still pretty soft. But so there is that component of it, that he does potentially have a really soft draw. That if he does go against Collingwood and get a 120, that he goes 150, and he's almost ungettable by that point. Stephen Coniglio, just don't like him, to be honest with you. And do I have any more about... So you've also got this thought about Tom Green. Could you go Green and then flip him to Walsh? And yes, you are using a trade, but realistically in the early round, what are you actually doing in terms of players? You're mostly in rounds 1, 2, and 3, flipping those early missed rookies and stuff like that. So if you really are doing that, and Tom Green to Walsh is 130k at the moment, and there is potential for a lot that it stays at around 130k. So you may get the goods of, and then if you look at Carlton, there is a realistic look at that, because Carlton go by North, Freo, Adelaide. That is a very soft draw as well. So you could actually realistically do that. I'll probably have a team reveal that has something like that in it, but that would be probably me using LDU to do that or something like that, and that would mean that I do lose out on that next premium. But to have Tom Green to have effectively 2 games at North Melbourne in the bye round could be really crucial. And I don't know when do Carlton play West Coast? They do not play West Coast until round 23, is that? Surely they play West Coast earlier. Do they not play West Coast until round 23? Am I not seeing it properly? Wow, that is crazy that they don't play West Coast till round 23. So there's that. So yeah, I think Green is one that you could look at posts and then trade him to Walsh and gain that money out of him. Green has the great natural progression. We will move it to Green and the Hawks respectively. This one. There we go. It is Tom Green. I was thinking about another couple of Greens in different sports. And so, yeah, we've got Tom Green here. And let's look at these numbers. 52, 71, 85, and then a 110. So he's got that great natural progression. And he doesn't really have much more he can go in terms of CBAs. If we look at here, we go to here, and then we go CBAs. Get rid of that ad, please, and then GWS. You will see Tom Green has 84%, which I'm pretty sure is one of the highest in this year's crop out of all of them from 2023. 84%, yeah, just ridiculous. And so there's that as well. He did have a hamstring injury, a 79%er in round 17. I do want to just check in case, does he have any potential... Let's just look at that round 17 against... No, not really. 80%. He pretty much played out the game for a 69 though. So that was, I think, an injury-affected game, I want to say. But yeah, came out to finish the year off strong. Look at his L3 and L5. If we look at his last 3 of 115, 116, last 5 of 111, that's still above his 110 that he had for the year. So yeah, there is potential upside there. He just needs to, I guess, get that bottom out score to around that 80 rather than 70. And then he does have that 170 big game in him, 141, 120, a 136, a 128. So he does have those big potential games in him. So we just got to look at him in round 0 and see how he goes against Collingwood. If he goes really well against Collingwood, then we're probably going to have to pick him and then just trade him to Sam Walsh and use that avenue. And if Sam Walsh sucks, then you just trade him to another premium, which it does suck to trade premiums. But if you can actually trade him and you can gain 70 points as well as a lot of... He could be a 130 guy to start against those North and those West Coast games. Like, targeting those could be crucial. So you got that. The next guy to talk about, I know we are going to skip over Canelio and Kelly just because I don't really see much upside in them, and they're round 0 guys. They're playable round 0, so they got the early bye, and I reckon that Tom Green's just going to be more on the wish list than them. The next guy is Lockie Whitfield, and if you actually go to his numbers, they're not that good in the previous couple of years, but you have to go back a little bit, I believe, to get really the numbers that you're looking for. His highest is basically his highest since 2020. He put up an 86.8 in a COVID year, so that is times by 1.25, which is 108. But he had 2018 where he went 100, 2019 where he went 114, and the 2020, like we said, where he went 108.5. So he is there, and there is potential. I just don't like it how he's got that early bye. If he didn't have that early bye, I reckon he would be there. I mean, he's priced at... What is he priced at? He's priced at 855. He would probably be my D2 or potentially D1 if he didn't have that early bye. And one of the things I like about him is he's probably going to push back to that really good position. I mean, he has an L3 of 103. If we look back at them and look back at... where is he? We are looking at Lockie Whitfield. Where is Lockie Whitfield? I don't see him on here, which is a good sign to not see him in the midfield rotation, which means that he was only on the wing. But if we now go back and I think look at the kickouts, you will see what I mean by this. GWS 2023 kickouts. You'll see Lockie Whitfield, and he did get good numbers throughout the year, which is good. Averaged he had 106 in 21 games, which is roughly 5 a game. So that's really good and good to see that. Ash took a little bit off him, which is a little bit annoying. And he did have the West Coast game where they had 15 potential ones. He would have snapped up another 8 or 9, which sucks that the 2 big games that he missed had 15 kickouts. Kind of sucks about that. But anyway, nothing you can do about that. So there is a potential that he does get even more kickouts, to be honest with you, which would be really, really good. But I just cannot go for him given that he's had interrupted seasons in the past. Look at his numbers here. 16, 17, 15, 18, 21 games. So he does usually play most of the season. He hasn't had one of those like 6-game seasons. but he has that basically an injury a year, so I'm just worried about that potential. And he did have that injury in round 1 last year that I did have him for, which sort of sucks. And if you take out that number, he actually does increase a little bit. I'm guessing 21 times 94.7, 9898 minus the 48, divide that by 20. And you see he goes up to a 97, so plus 2.3 if you take out the injury. So there is some upside there with Lachie Whitfield. Next up is Harry Himmelberg, and the only reason I'm talking about him, and this one actually now looking at all the GWS guys is going to be a very, very quick one. The only reason I'm talking about Himmelberg is because he is plus 12 or plus 13 in the defender role that he's got. Harry Himmelberg, where's he? There he is. Harry Himmelberg, if we go to his fantasy stats, you will see that he usually averages around 40 to 60 points, but he saw in 2022 averaged 80, 2023 he averaged 72, and he averaged, if you look here, he averaged 83 in that defender role, and last year when he did it, he averaged a lot more. So it'll be interesting to see what does he average. He averaged 83 last year in the defender role, whereas I'm pretty sure if you look at these numbers here with the defender role, I'm pretty sure he averaged something like 90, 95. So it's very interesting to look at his potential because he's plus 20 odd if you look at his 2022 defender role, but if you look at his 2023 defender role, he's only plus 10. So it's just a one that I was a lot higher on in the start of the off-season, but now I've started to wane on him just because of the more selections that we've got with the likes of Chapman, Young, Williams, Caulfield as well, Wangadee Malira there as well, all around that same sort of price, well, up and within 200k plus or minus of Harry Himmelberg, who was priced at around 630, I reckon. 650k for Harry Himmelberg. So they're all around that price tag and within reason of that. But the only thing I think with Harry Himmelberg is that I can only see potentially plus 15, whereas the other guys like Wangadee Malira is a premium in itself, but he could go plus 10. You've got Heath Chapman going to go plus 25, plus 30. Hayden Young's going to go plus 15, plus 20 as a premium himself. You got Zach Williams who's plus 30 or something like that. Caulfield who's plus 40. So you got all these guys, and then you got Harry Himmelberg who's sort of not a premium but going plus 10, plus 15. I don't really see there being much value there. So that's why I'm a little bit off of Harry Himmelberg, given that a lot more options have opened up. You do have to admit that he does have an L3 of a 94 and an L5 of 84, so there is showing that he can score. It's just a problem of what's a full season going to look like down back. Is it going to be a 95 that he gets? Or is it going to be like an 85 or 90 and it's really not going to be as valuable? So that's basically the thoughts there. And now looking just at the notes I have, there isn't really much other value in looking at the GWS guys, as they didn't really bring anyone in the off season. It didn't really lose anyone from memory, so they didn't really do many off season moves. They didn't really draft any fantasy relevant guys in the likes of Phoenix Gothard and also James Leake. So no one there that I really see relevant. So there's no need to do any other real guys. So this is going to be the shortest preview of the year, with them only having 3 relevant guys basically, and really only 2. So it's going to be weird this year having we've had in the past 4 or 5 GWS guys where we might only run 1 or 2 GWS guys through the whole year this year. So it'll just be interesting to see how many guys we end up going with them. But that pretty much sums up the GWS Giants. Only a 14 and a bit minute video this will end up being. But yeah, so a very short video for GWS, but they didn't have any fantasy relevance. So anyway, that's the video. And I guess I will see you in the Gold Coast Suns. I've still got 3 more to record. So the Gold Coast Suns will be you'll see that tomorrow after this GWS one. Then you've got Geelong and Fremantle that I've got to record after that. But yeah, you will see that this video, I think on the 10th, is it? 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th for the Gold Coast So GWS 11th for the Gold Coast, 12th for Geelong, and 13th is the Freo preview. And then you'll see I'll record all the other ones post-trip and have them out from the 14th to the 18th. But anyway, that is the video, and I'll see you guys in the next preview. Bye, guys.